Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, today we've got a follow-on from yesterday's video where we showed you how to turn any of your menu items into a little mega menu like this. And we had a follow-up question actually from the same guy asking if we could split this into 2 columns rather than having it 4 columns. And yeah, you can split it into how many or how few as you want. Got to do a little bit of coding, but that's no problem. So we're going to split that into 2 columns. I've got one over here. And there it is, just like that. So let's get started. I'm going to get rid of this page. Go back to our original here. I'm using Google Chrome with the great inspector tools here. So I'm going to go down. I'm going to right click and inspect one of our links. I'm actually going on to my last one here, inspect. And with the inspector tools, if you've got elements selected one side, you'll have HTML. If you've got styles the other side, you'll have CSS code. I don't actually want to be on the anchor tag, the link. I want to actually be on the list item just above it here. And it's going to tell us it's the top menu, list item, mega menu, unordered list item, and it's the last one of type 4N right there. But it's got a clear fix on it and it's pushing it to the right. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to say clear unset, UNSET. Great. Once we've done that, nothing would have changed up here. Still got our 4 columns. But if we look down here, we got top menu, list item, mega menu, unordered list item. We've got a width of 25. So this is quarter of the 100% of the width, which gives it 4 columns. If I change that to 33.3, 33.3 percentage-wise, we should have 3 columns. There we go, just like that. But it's not quite how we want it, because we've got to tell this something slightly different. If we put it to 50%, it'll have 2 columns. That actually looks okay. But if you want more, we need to do just a little bit more coding. So of course, editing in the inspector here is non-destructive. So if I refresh this page, it's going to go back to how it was, and we'll lose this coding right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this from the closing bracket of what we changed here, and the next item as well, our top menu list item right there. Control C to copy. I'm just going to paste that in a little notepad. Actually, I've got a brackets text editor over here, but a notepad will do. And let's go to our custom CSS field and we can put it in there. Now you can go down to dashboard. You can either go down to appearance and customize like we did yesterday, and then the additional CSS panel, or you can go down to Divi, theme options. Under the general tab at the bottom, they got a CSS panel. Let's go to the customize again so we can see what's going on in real time. If I go back to this page and just refresh it, we don't want this to happen on tablet and mobile. We still want it to be normal in basically 1 column on tablet and mobile. So if I hit my F12 key and we take a look on a mobile device, here it is on a phone. It's okay at the moment. We want to make sure we give it what they call a media query. Let's have a look on an iPad. That's going to be okay too. But we want to give it a media query, so we want to make sure none of the code that we apply changes anything on desktop and mobile, because that's working fine. Let's just refresh that. We'll go back to our customizer here. Here's our additional CSS panel at the bottom. And when I hover over now, it should be back to normal. Great. If there's something in there, you can just scoot it down. If there's not, just start at the top. You can put this underneath if you want to. I'm going to leave it at the top so we can see it. Always good idea to put a title in there. Titles / */ And let's back up between those stars. Anything in between the stars won't be read as code. So let's say mega menu columns. Great. Let's capitalize that M there. And we'll go down. The first thing I want to do is put what they call a media query in, which is what I was talking about before. So I'm going to put my cursor in there. I'm going to say at media, MEDIA. We're going to set a minimum width for tablet basically. So I'm going to open some round brackets. I'm going to say min width, min-width, and then give it a pixel value. So I'm going to put a colon in there. And 980 pixel, 981 actually, is the tablet breakpoint, I believe. So we'll use that. Then we can open and close some curly brackets. And we want to target the width of this. And we already did that with some of the code. So I'm going to grab the top menu list item code. I'm going to paste it in there. We don't need the margin because we're not changing that. There's a 50% we put in there to make it into 2 columns. We're going to make sure that we've got 2 curly brackets on the end. Whenever you do a media query, you've got one at the top, one at the bottom, and then you've got a regular one inside with its own curly brackets right there. Then down below that, we're going to paste that other line of code that we copied, which is about clearing it so it could break at a different point, the clear unset. But we've also got to make the next one clear as well. To do that, I'm going to copy this one more time, Control C. I'm going to drop down, Control V. And at the end of the 4N there, I'm going to put +1, +1. Let's just publish that. And then we've got a column of 2. And like I said, if we change that to 33.3, you've got a column of 3. If you change it to 20, you've got a column of 5. And just divide 100% by the amount of columns you want. And it's job done. I'm going to put that back to 50, so we've got 2. Now that's great, works and everything like that, but it's kind of overkill wide. Seeing as we've only got 2 columns, I'd like to have it perhaps half that size. It depends on how big your entries are, but mine are fairly small there. And if you want to do that, let's just inspect this again. Right click, hit inspect. If we go down here to our HTML, click on the sub menu right there. Look over at the CSS, it's going to give us a top menu list item mega menu unordered list right there, which is, if you look at the top, it's highlighting it for us with a bit of padding. It's telling it's got a width of 100%. So let's change that maybe to 50%. Double left click on it. You can roll it down with your mouse wheel if you want to, or put your cursor in there. Just type your new value in, make sure you got the percentage sign on the end. And that's great, it's half the size, but we can't get to it. It's over on the left-hand side there. If we look down at the bottom here, we've got left 0, which is putting it right on the left-hand side. Let's bring it over 50% to the right by highlighting that 0 right there. I'm going to change that to a 50%, 50%. Let's see what we've got now. There we go, and it's rolling just underneath. Let's make sure the next one's going to do it too. And we can get to it, whereas it was on the left there, we'd leave here and it would disappear. And that's about the width I want it. Obviously, you can adjust this to whatever you need. So let's now copy this bit of code from that closing curly bracket all the way up to that first hashtag of the CSS ID top menu. Control C to copy again. Well, I'm going to drop it down just underneath our last entry. Control V to paste. Now we don't need to change the padding unless you want to change the padding. So we don't need to keep that as we've not changed it. Position is still absolute. We've not changed that. Width we have changed. So I'm going to delete that. We're going to keep the width 50% and the left important. Obviously adjust these to however you need. But that's going to actually work for me. We've got 2 columns there. It's not too big. And once I publish this, we'll check it on tablet and mobile. So let's hit the publish. We'll go back to our site here. Let's refresh the page. There's our little 2-column mega menu. Make sure the other one's doing the same thing. Fantastic. Get to all of our little links down there. Great. Let's check it on tablet and mobile. I'm going to hit my F12 key again. And we'll look on iPad Air. Let's just move this down and make this a little bit bigger. And our mega menu's there just the way it should be, so we can roll down and scroll to it. And let's have a look on our phone also. Similar. Perfect. We can get to all our little links just by scrolling down. And it's not affected that at all because we've done our media query. Yeah, get rid of that now. And we're back to the desktop. So there you go, guys. There's how to change the amount of columns on your little drop-down mega menu and shrink it to a more manageable size depending on the entries that you've got in yours. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. I hope that's answered that question for you. Don't forget that code, I'll drop it down below the video for anybody who wants to copy and paste it, just adjust it to your needs. If you have any questions, pop them down below. I'm always glad to read them and I'll do my best to answer them or make a little demo video just like this one. So once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.